If you've ever found yourself spiraling down a late night rabbit hole of what am I meant to do and why haven't I found it yet? And let's be honest, who hasn't? Then you're in the right place. I'm Theresa White, career clarity expert and 5-time certified career coach, and I'm here to help you navigate the question of how to find a career that truly lights you up. On Career Clarity Unlocked, we're all about those light bulb moments. I'm talking to people who are still trying to figure out what they're meant to do, coaching them live to reach that magical, yes, this is it moment. And we'll also hear from those who've already found their dream careers and figure out exactly how they did it. Whether you're looking for inspiration or actionable advice on finding a career you love, I've got you covered. Time to unlock some career clarity. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Career Clarity Unlocked. Okay, this episode is another special one because it is the second conversation that I got to record live and in person while soaking up the sunshine in Cancun, Mexico. Aileen and I were both attending an incredible mastermind retreat hosted by the amazing Diana Waike-Chan, and let me tell you, this week was pure magic. And to sit down face to face for this episode, that was also such a gift. Now let me introduce you to the absolute powerhouse who's joining me for this conversation. Her name is Aileen Edwards. Aileen is a seasoned CHRO, yes, Chief Human Resource Officer. And if that isn't impressive enough, she's now a full-time executive leadership coach. She brings decades of HR leadership to the table, and she's on a mission to develop leaders who inspire, engage, and create lasting impact. Whether it's navigating workplace challenges or helping others find their voice, Aileen is all about clarity, confidence, and making a meaningful change. In this episode, we talk about her incredible career journey, how her Sparketype as a sage shaped the way she leads and coaches, and the deep passion she brings to her DEI work. You're going to walk away with powerful insights, a few goosebumps, and maybe even a fire lit under you. Let's dive in. Welcome, Aileen, to Career Clarity Unlocked. So excited to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, I'm excited we're here in Cancun.
Yeah, me too. It's beautiful out there.
No, we're
so beautiful.
So beautiful and so grateful to be
Fortunate
here.
to be here. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. So super excited that we get to record this live in person.
Oh, it's great.
Yes. Let's start off with your professional journey. Do you mind sharing your journey in a little bit of a nutshell, as much as that is possible?
Sure. So I'm a human resources executive professional. I've been in HR for about 40 years, and I am there because I love people. That is the thing. So I'm a generalist by heart. I did a lot of recruiting and so on, but really my passion is about labor relations, solving problems. So just being able to get people to figure it out and work well together. I love also, and now I'm starting to get into coaching and mentoring as an official business. I've done coaching and mentoring through HR consulting all these years, but I started my new business in 2020. So I really want to continue the work that I'm doing in the leadership coach space, so leadership development space for, the mid-level career ladies who are looking for a little bit more. I really want to try and focus working with women of color. And the reason I'm doing that is because when I was up and coming in my HR career, I didn't have somebody like me to walk that through. So I'm looking to share my experiences, and it's nice to have somebody who looked like me and walked like me and know exactly what I was going through. And I didn't have that. And I want to be that for the next generation of folks.
I love that. And so needed in this world. There's so many people who look up to you and need the exact guidance that...
So exciting.
Yes. Yeah. I had you take the Sparketype assessment.
Yes.
And I want to bring it in because you already described your Sparketype. So your primary Sparketype showed up as the sage. For our audience, a little background. The Sparketype assessment developed by Jonathan Fields is a quick 10-minute assessment that you can take on Sparketype.com. And it measures what makes us come alive and what empties us out. So it showed up that as the sage, as your primary Sparketype, that it suggests that what makes you come alive is that sharing of knowledge, teaching.
That makes sense.
Passing on the knowledge you have.
That makes so much sense.
Is that something that just lights you up and fills your cup?
It does. It does. Because in the world that I grew up in, I was always taught to not really be show off or do anything, or not really show your knowledge. I never wanted to be a know-it-all. So I always kind of hid that when I was going up through the ranks of executive, I always used to say to people, I'm just in HR. I'm in HR. I never said, oh, I'm a chief human resources officer, because we weren't really allowed to do that and show that. So I want to make sure that I want to share the knowledge of that, to let the new leaders know that, yeah, be proud. Like, I worked really hard to get here.
Yes.
Why shouldn't I be proud to just, shout it off the rooftops?
Yes. And you have so much knowledge. Why not pass it on to
exactly
those who need it?
I'm all about paying it forward.
Yeah.
I've had a few sprinkles of individuals in my life that paid it forward to me, but the majority of them didn't. They kept it to themselves, and they didn't want to see me get ahead. And it wasn't all just about me, but any kind of woman who's worth their salt. Yeah. They don't want to see successful people move ahead, because it's almost like an intimidation factor in some ways. So I want to be able to say, don't let that intimidation factor get in your way of being successful and moving forward and sharing your knowledge.
So beautiful. What I hear a lot from the Sage is that when the light bulb moment happens, when someone gets it, that's it. That's that moment.
Fascinating for me when I can see, and I'm coaching and I see that aha moment and that spark for people. I'm like, yeah, that's it.
That's what you're here to do, is to help people have those moments.
Yeah.
How much? Well, let's talk about your shadow first, and then go into more detail there. Your shadow showed up as the advisor, which is that guiding, coaching, mentoring. And it goes hand in hand with the Sage. And I wonder if you relate to that too, of like being the guide on someone's journey.
Totally. I love advising and being that guide. And I've always been known as the content expert in the work that I do. So when I advised my clients now, but with the folks, the managers at the office, it was always great, that knowledge of being able to impart some of that and sharing that. So I love advising people. I like showing them how to do things the way that I found out by myself. So I really enjoy that piece.
It makes you who you are.
It does.
That's so beautiful. It's like the work you cannot not do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I can't not do. You're absolutely right. And I don't realize that I'm advising in advisor mode, but I'm in advisor mode all the time, practically, because it comes so naturally and so easily for me. Yeah.
And when you were in your executive roles in HR consulting, chief HR officer, which is amazing, do you feel you got to do that work? Like, were you fulfilled in, like, my work revolves around guiding, coaching, teaching, sharing knowledge?
Part of it. But when you're at that level, you're so far removed. All you're doing is you're spending a lot of time at board meetings and executive meetings and so on. I like to be right at the ground level, talking to people and showing them what I can do. And I don't want to be in the corner office. I don't want to be hiding out in the corner office. So there was a little bit of that, because I still had an HR team that I was responsible for, but a lot of it was around sort of that strategic, high level stuff, which was great, but I just want to be with the people.
Yeah. That makes so much sense. Yeah. And that probably became less the higher you moved.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. When I was a manager, it was great. When I was a director, it was great. But the minute I jumped into that VP level, it just was totally different.
Yes. Yeah. You're moving from doing to strategy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And while I love the strategy, I kind of missed hanging out with the people, right?
Yeah. That makes so much sense. And I'm so curious to hear about your anti-Sparketype too. So the anti-Sparketype is not something we're bad at.
Okay.
It is something that tends to drain our battery.
Okay.
We can be really good at it, and we often are, but if we had to do it all day, every day, it would be a heavy lift. It would be an energy drain. And for you, that showed up as the essentialist.
Okay.
The essentialist loves to take chaos and create order out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how that resonates with you. A lot of times for people who have anti-essentialists, they love order and systems and processes, but they would not want to spend all day, every day creating.
No, that's not who I am. So I thrive in chaos, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I thrive in chaos. I'm just so better at chaos, but chaos is exhausting. So by the time you get it all figured out, I'm exhausted. But there's some kind of passion there that really, if there's a puzzle and there's a problem that I can help to solve, I think it's great.
Yeah.
But it is draining. Yeah.
And what are times when it does energize you because of you solved something? What is an example that comes to mind for you? It's like, yes, it was draining, but there was also that good to it.
Right. So one of the spaces I work in is the diversity, equity, inclusion space, and anti-racism, anti-oppression space. And that is a long journey. And so when we're bringing in DEI and AREO training and knowledge and education, that's great, because then you're giving some people some knowledge. But then there's some folks out there that just want us to solve the racist problem overnight. That's not going to happen. Like there are
I wish
years and years and years. So we'll get there, but it's going to take a little bit of time. And when you introduce those things into this space, there's some people out there that are not interested.
Yeah.
They're not interested in diversity. They're not interested in equity.
They're not interested. That very clearly these days.
You can see that all the time now. Like things are getting wiped off, agendas and so on. So, but for me, although it's exhausting, it's the work that needs to get done. There's some passion about that. It's hard work, and you will get resistance, but it really is the work that needs to get done. So when some of that gets done, and I see a little bit of, little milestones along the journey, it's fascinating.
Yeah. And I wonder if when you thrive in chaos, it's draining, but you thrive in it. But I wonder if it's fulfilling when it impacts people.
Yeah.
When it brings out the advisor, the sage in you. There is someone who benefits from it. If it's just taking data, let's say a big spreadsheet of data, no one will benefit from it. Yep. Your task is to clean it up for the next 2 days.
Right. That's not me.
That's not you.
That's not me.
But if you know that is really going to impact someone, it's probably still not the funnest task for you, but it changes.
Oh, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But that's not where I'd like to spend the majority of my day.
Yeah.
Not at all. And I'd like to have that data so that I can, use it to complement what we're doing and see, it is working and we're moving the needle. I don't want to spend the time doing all the data collecting. That's not who I am.
Yeah. And it's often, there's people who love that work.
Not me.
And it's amazing that these people, I'm an essentialist. So I'm one of the people who loves it. And then we can give the tools to you to make the impact.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. And that's amazing. I think that's great. And if there's people out there that do better than I am, have at her.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like, if you have everyone in the roles that are aligned, fulfilled, they do their best work.
Right.
And there is someone for every role.
Right. And it goes back to me being an extrovert, and I just want to party and I want to have to do a lot of things with a lot of people. And if there's a lot of us in the room and the same way, we get nothing done. Right. So I need to surround myself with people that are different than me, that bring different strengths in me so that we can be, we can be a complete package.
I definitely agree. I'm very mindful that in my business is I know I'm very process driven. I've got that side of the business down, but the people I need bring in, I need to be the opposite.
Right.
And that's how we make, how it's like the sum of the parts is more than
the whole.
The whole?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. The whole of the parts is more than their sum. It's something like that.
I can't remember.
But each person individually, we can only do so much, but when the right people come together.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm so curious. I worked with so many women who are so passionate about the DEI space.
Right.
What's your take on it, 2025, especially for women in the U.S.? Are there careers in DEI?
Right.
Is that something, is there still a future? Is there still hope?
There has to be a future. Yeah. There has to be a future. It was a long time coming. And at the beginning, it was just like, yeah, tick box, we did DEI, whoop-de-doo. Now it should be a movement.
Yes.
And I think that movement needs to continue. So even though you've got some folks out of the south of the border that are trying to stifle things, I think we just need to continue to speak that language speak, because there have been some individuals that have been disadvantaged all their lives, the ones that are racially and marginalized and racialized over the years. And we've got, you know, the indigenous people that really, they started this land, like this is their land, and we're kind of like poaching on it. So, you know, we need to give that acknowledgement and that recognition to those individuals, and to try and wipe them off for a way or whatever, hide them. It's not going to happen. So I think the movement needs to continue, and the people who are in that space need to continue to do that fabulous work.
I agree. And I don't know if this is the optimist in me that just cannot not be hopeful for the future. But I'm hoping that with what we're seeing in 2025 and DI programs that the silver lining for me is now we're seeing who actually believed in it, embraced it, and who only did it to have beautiful words on their website.
That tick box, right?
That tick box.
Yes.
So now at least we know who actually believes in it and walks the talk, and who never did.
It's true.
Because the ones who cut it, they never really did.
Yep.
It was performative. Right. It was purely performative. So I'm like, okay, at least we're very clear now. And somehow it's like the good people are gonna win.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And you know, when I used to say, I'm not saying this because I'm a Black woman, but I am saying this because I'm a Black woman. It is required, and we need to continue to move in that way. And you said something earlier about, you know, I hope this and I hope that. Hope is not a strategy. We need to have a strategy to move forward in the way that to ensure that this stays top of mind.
Yes.
And that's what I'm continuing to do.
Yes. And I believe that, again, I hope that because of all the negative impacts that we're seeing, that forces more people to speak up. Because being quiet is no longer an option. It's no longer an option.
No, not at all.
And also at the same time, I know that not everyone has the privilege to speak up. There are a lot of people who cannot. And I have the privilege. So they need people
with the voices to help them.
Yeah. And I know that there's a lot of privilege that comes with being a white woman in the US. And I feel like I have that obligation to not be quiet, to bring that awareness.
Good for you.
Even for my children, right?
Yes. We all need those positive role models and those people who will support us along the way. I don't care if you're Black, white, female, gay, like I don't care. As long as we're all speaking the same language and we're all moving things forward.
And I might not get it right all the time, every day.
I won't either.
Yeah, we all don't. Right? But then we learn and grow. And for me, it's about being open-minded. If there is something that I say that is not correct, then please tell me. I want to learn. I want to hear it. But I don't want to be quiet. I feel like that is, I'm curious to hear your opinion on it. But I think for white people, they are afraid to say the wrong thing. And then they're quiet. And that was me for a long time. I actually never said that to anyone. And there was a moment where I was like, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen?
What is the worst thing that can happen?
Say the wrong thing. Maybe I'll offend someone, but who am I helping by being quiet?
Exactly. And you might offend that person, but they might also be the person to give you that correction.
That's what I'm
and to give you that education.
Yes.
Right? So, you know, there's a lot of people out there who are happy to teach you what the correct is. So there's all these terms now that I don't even know. And one of the things I was thinking about or talking about is, you know, just because I'm the Black woman doesn't mean that I know how to solve the racism problem.
And I don't think you should.
I don't think I should either.
No, that's not your job.
But a lot of people think it's my job. But then when you start talking about it, then you become the loud Black woman voice, like you're just the angry Black woman or something. But no, that's not what it's about at all. What we're trying to do is we're trying to educate so that you can understand where we came from and walk in our shoes so we can see how it is to continue to move forward past this.
Yeah.
It's a long time coming, and it's going to be a long time getting there. But as long as we keep moving forward and not back, then I think we're doing right.
Yes. I hope that this is right now, if we think about this dam of like, okay, it's blocking the water right now.
Right.
But at some point, the dam is going to break.
Yep. Absolutely. And I actually think this might be the push that some Black Americans need.
Yeah.
Right. I think that this might be, we need to stand up.
Yeah.
We need to do what we need to do.
Yes.
And this might be the push that they needed.
Yeah. And I feel like it's so important to keep talking about that this is not the job of Black people to bring DEI. It's not their job.
No.
That responsibility is on all of us. Mm-hmm. But the more privilege you have, mm-hmm. the more that is your job.
Absolutely.
Looking at all the white men sitting in corner offices.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's there.
We all need to be part of that.
We all need to be part of. We all need to be part of the conversation.
Yes.
No matter where you come from.
No matter where you come from. And you know what? Somebody that I worked with, and when I went to college or university, got my master's degree, one of the professors used to say, just start anywhere and go everywhere. Yes. So it doesn't matter what you know, where you come in, which part of it, just start somewhere. Mm-hmm. And then just keep going.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yeah. That is so true.
Yeah.
You just got to start. That starting is the hardest step.
Yeah. It is the hardest step. Like I'm a runner. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't really want to run. I'm not today. I'm just not in the mood. But if I start by putting on my running shoes, then everything else follows after that. It's just, it's a mindset, and you just have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And then there you go. Next thing you know, I'm coming back and I've run 10K.
Wow.
But at the beginning, I'm like, oh, please don't make me, right?
No, I get it. I try to be a runner. Definitely not every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And talking about starting, so you're starting a whole new journey, a whole new chapter.
I am.
So what is that looking for you? What are you starting?
So I started my leadership, my HR consulting and leadership coaching business in 2020. And then COVID hit, and then things just, fell apart. And I wasn't working. And then I went back to work. So I went back to corporate, and I said, okay, for 2 years, that'll be max. Well, it's been 4.5 years. So in the 4.5 years, I haven't been able to build that business. And now I'm exhausted. I'm finished. I'm ready to move forward and do what I really am loving to do. So I'm leaving the corporate world at the end of this month, and I'm just going to jump right into running my coaching business. I'm just so excited to do that. So I'm learning, and so the opportunities that I didn't have because I was too busy being an executive, but I want to learn how to market, and I want to learn how to, talk, my pricing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really, really excited to jump into that so I can, scale that business. And because that energizes me, working with people and talking to people. And although I get to do some of that at work, it's more of a draining side where people are just looking for me to solve their problems. What coaching is, I'm not solving your problems, but I'll show you how you can solve your own problems. And I will give you the script, and you can figure it out. And those are the things that by asking all these deep questions, you can discover your own answers. Let them do the work.
Yes. Yes. And it's so much more powerful than giving someone
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
And this couldn't be more perfectly aligned with also your Sparketype, because you have a wealth of experience coming out of executive roles, being in HR consulting. You have so much knowledge. Yeah. And that Sage and you as Charlie just let me share that knowledge.
It's waiting to bust out.
Yes. It's like, let's share it. Let's have all these light bulb moments. Yeah. And I'm like, I know all the very, very fortunate people who are going to get to work with you and benefit from your luggage. And benefit from your experience and your knowledge.
Right.
They're going to have all the light bulb moments.
I'm really excited about that because all I ever wanted to do was share. Yeah. And I wish people shared with me when I was younger. And I just want to be that person who you can tap into and say, so I have this issue and that issue. Let me your thoughts around that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working with women, women of color. I really want to empower women, because I think that we're sometimes just passed over. And we're passed over for promotions, we're passed over for this, we're passed over what, because we're nurturers. And then heaven forbid we leave the workforce to have a child. Then it's like, oh my God, it's against, you know.
Yes,
so I
how
want,
can you?
yeah. So all of those things, I don't want them to interrupt people's movement. So just try and get them to, yeah. Okay, so it's great. You're a mom. That's great. But, you know, no one else can do it like women. We're mothers, we're sisters, we're, you know, we're daughters, we're, you know, we're teachers, we're cooks, we're, yeah.
If you are able to raise children, there's literally no job in the workforce that you cannot not do.
Absolutely.
Like if you can do that job,
absolutely.
You can do anything else. Like everything else is a piece of cake compared to that job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it'll
hire
be a good
women.
Opportunity.
Yes. Don't ever, it makes me so mad that whenever there is someone who's like discarding motherhood as experience.
Yeah.
Like, that is the experience you want on someone's resume.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But you said something before. You said, I want to become that person. You already are.
Thank you.
You're already the person sharing the knowledge, and you've always been.
Yeah. Thank you. I guess it's interesting because I always think that when you're wrapped up in it and you're too busy doing it, you don't really, you just see it as part of, the job and so on. But now I'm going to pull that piece out, and it's not part of the job. It's me. It's part of me. And I'm taking me out of that and putting it and nurturing it in a different way.
So who are you going to be helping, and how are you going to be helping them in the next chapter?
So who I'm going to be helping are the women who are like mid-career, who are looking to move into a leadership role or a more senior leadership role, or who are already been promoted into a senior leadership role, but don't really know how to navigate that space. So I'm going to coach and mentor them to navigate that space. Or people who've outgrown their role, might have outgrown lots of roles, but never been given an opportunity. So just helping people to move to their next chapter. So that's what I'd like to do, is just help those women.
I love that. And for all the women listening in and be like, yes, that is me. Where can they find you? Where can they connect with you?
So they can find me on LinkedIn. So I'm Aileen Edwards. My business is AIM Consulting, so AME Consulting. You can email me at aileen@amedwards@aimconsulting.ca. That's where you can find me. I also have a website.
Love that. Make sure to follow Aileen. She shares amazing content. You're like so into getting into content creation, so I can't wait.
Can't wait
for all that you have coming. And thank you so much for this beautiful conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate our time together.
Wow, what a powerful conversation. Aileen's wisdom runs deep, and her heart for helping others lead with purpose and clarity is just so inspiring. You can feel how much she lives what she teaches, and how ready she is to walk alongside the next generation of women leaders, especially those who haven't always seen someone who looks like them in leadership spaces. If you're a woman navigating leadership, leveling up in your career, or trying to find your voice in rooms that weren't designed with you in mind, Aileen is the mentor you want in your corner. Her combination of executive experience, grounded empathy, and fierce commitment to equity is exactly what this world needs more of. Her contact information is linked in the show notes. And if you're ready for your next step and want to gain career clarity in record time, I would love to help you. Head over to careerbloomcoaching.com and book a free consultation call with my team. We'll figure out what you really want, what lights you up, and how to build a career that finally feels aligned. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you back here next week. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Career Clarity Unlocked. If you're feeling stuck in that what's next spiral and are ready to finally break free, let's chat. You can book your free career clarity call where we'll uncover what's really important to you, tackle any obstacles holding you back, and map out your best next step. Schedule your free 30-minute call today on careerbloomcoaching.com. And before you head out, Be sure to follow us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify so you never miss an episode. If today's conversation gave you new insights and inspiration, please leave a review. It really helps us reach more amazing listeners like you. And don't forget to share this episode with a friend or on social media. Your support truly means the world. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time.